Hey guys, and welcome into another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be doing something that I've seen a lot in the MLB community the past few weeks, and that is going through every single team and picking your favorite player from each team. Now, obviously with baseball, rosters are a little bit smaller, obviously with, pretty much 9 players playing at each time. So we're going to be doing one on the offensive side and the defensive side of the video. This is kind of just an interaction video. The draft's coming up in just a few days. It's almost 3-4 days now, so definitely going to be really excited. Got some new videos coming out soon, so stay tuned for those. Another episode of the Giants franchise should be coming out tomorrow as well. But this is just going to be a fun one where I want you guys to tell me your favorite players as well. I'll talk about in the comment section below, debate about who's the better player, whatever it is. These aren't the best players on the teams, but they're just who I personally enjoyed watching the most in the NFL, I guess. So on each team, I have 2 for each team, and we'll just get started with it. The first ones that I have here is Larry Fitzgerald and Chandler Jones from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, being a Cardinals semi-fan, living in Arizona, so I like the Cardinals by default. Larry Fitzgerald is just a class act, man. I've met him multiple times, gone to his celebrity softball game, done these different things. He is such a good guy, on and off the field. And on top of, he enjoys and he loves the game. And never mind, he's one of the best at it to ever do it. One of the best receivers I've ever seen in my life. One of the best receivers that probably anyone's ever seen in their lifetime. He's, I think, a top 5 receiver of all time, in my personal opinion. He has more tackles than he does drops in his NFL career, which is absolutely insane. What kind of stat line is that anyway? So Larry Fitzgerald's easily my pick for the Cardinals offense. I love Kyler Murray as well. DeAndre Hopkins is an absolute beast as well. But when you go and look through it, Larry Fitzgerald's just not beatable. Then we go over to the defensive side, Chandler Jones. Man, he has become one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. He sets the edge so well. Captain for multiple years now, and when the Cardinals got him, I was like, okay, that's solid. That's solid. He's gonna help out. No one thought that he was gonna be this good. He was really good with the Patriots, but to be one of the best in the NFL for this long is very good. He just got voted to the All-Decade team, which is a very prestigious award for him, because he does fly under the radar for a lot of people. So getting him onto this is one of my ways of saying that he deserves that respect. So Larry Fitzgerald, Chandler Jones, easy 2 picks. Then we go on over to the Atlanta Falcons here, Julio Jones and Deion Jones. Now, pretty simple here. Julio Jones, one of the best receivers of all time, and he's just so insane to watch. I mean, when Matt Ryan's able to get him the ball, he is so much fun because he plays faster than what he looks. He looks like he's a tall, lengthy guy, but he runs fast. He plays bigger than even what he looks. I mean, there's times where he'll get up for a ball and get his feet down. It's like, holy shit, how the hell did anyone get that catch, let alone, a human being, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's no way that some of these catches he makes are real. Julio Jones is just absolutely insane to watch. I love watching him. He's fun to play with in Madden. He's just an all-around great receiver. He's going to be one of the all-time greats. There's a gold jacket in his future, I see. And then Deion Jones on the defensive side. Now, injuries have kind of hurt his career, but when he's on the field, he is so much fun to watch, man. Converted safety to linebacker, and it's kind of that new prototype. Deion Jones is one of those people that's kind of started it to where you want those bigger safeties to go down and play linebacker because they're going to be excellent at it. I'll never forget he had an interception in the end zone. I think it was against the Saints. I might be wrong on that, but he had an interception in the end zone against somebody where he jumped so high in the air for it and came down with it, landed on his back. I mean, when he caught the ball at the top of the the ball's path, it was like, holy shit, he's like 4 feet off the ground. I mean, the dude had just insane vertical. He's got great speed, and when he's not on the field, it does suck to see because he's one of the best players at his position, and I like seeing him on the field. Going on over to the Baltimore Ravens here, I have Mark Ingram and the newly acquired Calais Campbell. Now, Mark Ingram is my favorite running back because of what he's done over such a long time. He's even getting better and better as he ages, which is crazy to see. He had such a good year last year. I think he was Pro Bowler last year as well. But I mean, this guy, I remember having a poster of him when he was in college back when the Sports Illustrated for Kids I was subscribed to, so that was fun. But no, I followed him for such a long time, and he's just been such a consistently good back. Another guy who's kind of underappreciated. He doesn't really ever get the respect he deserves from a top running back standpoint, but he's always up there with the best guys. So it's just really cool to see. Calais Campbell as well. I mean, this is just a guy that the same thing, consistently is just completely insanely good. I mean, he's like 6'8". He's a menacing human being. I saw him a bunch of times at the training camps and stuff for the Cardinals as well when I was younger, but to see him once again be playing as old as these guys are, to be playing at such a high level is absolutely insane to see, and you gotta love it. I mean, I can't wait to see what he does for that Baltimore Ravens team. Then we move on over to the Buffalo Bills. These two are such a fun duo to watch. I love when they drafted these guys 2 years back. But Josh Allen, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. Probably, honestly, and this sounds stupid, but probably like my second favorite quarterback to watch in the NFL behind, obviously, my Giants, Daniel Jones. But Josh Allen, man, he is just so much fun to watch. I loved him out of Wyoming. I was like, man, this guy, like, you see how far he can throw the ball. Like, he needed to work on some accuracy things. I'm like, man, he'll learn it. I had no idea the kid had wheels like he does. I mean, when the first time I was like, I love watching this guy play was when they versed the Vikings in his rookie season. Or was it? No, it was last season. Was last season his rookie season? No, it was. Maybe it was. I think I'm blanking. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Whatever it was. He hurdled over Anthony frickin' Barr. He hurdled him. You're not supposed to do that. That is absolutely insane. So for him to be a rookie, I think it was, hurdling over one of the best linebackers in the NFL against one of the best teams in the NFL last year was just absolutely remarkable. Ever since that, I've seen him continuously grow. Because when he slings it, even when it's picked off, it's still like, just how he throws the ball is insane. The plays he's making, I'm so glad that they made the playoffs last year. They should have moved on past the Texans. That stupid Cody Ford penalty, that wasn't even a penalty, but we're not going to get into it. I really like watching Josh Allen play. Then we go over to the defense, Tremaine Adams. Again, another guy they drafted. They traded back into the first round, or they traded to this spot to make sure they got him. And he is just an athletic freak. He came into the league, he got drafted at 19 years old. He's very, very young, and yet he's one of my favorite linebackers to see. I think he's going to be one of the best linebackers within probably this season or in the next. I mean, this guy can cover so much ground. He's so athletic. He hits so hard. He's able to even run some zones pretty well. I mean, there's nothing this guy can't do. The sky's the limit for him. I mean, he's like 21 at this point, which is just absolutely insane. So kudos to him. And I really like to see where these two guys go throughout their careers, and I hope that they stay in Buffalo. Can't wait to see Josh Allen be thrown to Stephon Diggs. Now here at the Carolina Panthers, we have Dante Jackson and Christian McCaffrey. Now, if anyone puts someone other than McCaffrey, they're lying to you. White man can jump. White man can run. Highest paid running back in the NFL. He is just, there's nothing bad about him. If you watch the Giants franchise, he's been remarkable in that franchise for us as well. So, I mean, if you want to see what McCaffrey does, go check out episode 3 of the franchise, and you will see what the hell McCaffrey can do, even from a Madden standpoint. And the funny thing is that that's how he looks in real life. So McCaffrey, just an absolute beast. There's not even much to say about him. Just does it all. Dante Jackson, I just like how he plays the game. I don't really know what it is about him. I just remember his rookie year. I was watching a Panthers game, and I'm like, man, 26 is having such a good game. Who is this guy? And Dante Jackson, I'm like, okay. I kept watching him. He had such a good game that game, and I just kept following him through that. And I really liked watching him. You know, I don't watch a lot of Panthers defensive plays. Obviously, this would have been probably like a Luke Kuechly if he was still there. But I do find myself, if I'm watching a Panthers game, if they're on defense, I kind of gravitate towards who's Dante Jackson lining up against, how is it going to go. So those are my two guys for Carolina. Now here at the next one for Chicago is going to be Cordero Patterson and Khalil Mack. Now, I do like Mitchell Trubisky a lot, but I don't want the flack that comes with putting Trubisky on a favorite players list. Because I don't know if he's my favorite player on this offense. I used to like Allen Robinson a lot. I've kind of lost some love for him. I think that he was exciting to watch in Jacksonville. Now he's not as exciting, in my opinion, in Chicago. I'm not really a huge Cohen fan. I like what he does. I'm not a Montgomery guy. Burton just got cut. Long story short, Cordero Patterson's going to be my guy. He does play receiver and running back, which is kind of cool to see. But most of his utility is going to be on the special teams market, and there hasn't been such a guy that's just so much fun to watch since, you know, like the Devin Hester, Josh Cribbs days. This is what we have in the NFL now. Returners are kind of few in between, but Cordero Patterson, if he catches the ball, he's probably going to go out and return it, and that's what I like about him. Then on the defensive side, it's Khalil Mack, just an absolute monster. Didn't have the most productive year from a team-wise standpoint as last year than we thought he did, but holy shit, if you guys remember when he got traded to the Bears, first of all, it was insane from that standpoint that he got traded, but second was his impact right away. I mean, the strip sacks on Aaron Rodgers, just he covers the field. He never gives up on a play. I mean, I just love what Khalil Mack does, and I'm pretty sure everyone else, I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like Khalil Mack, unless you're probably facing him in that division. Then moving on to the Bengals, I have Tyler Boyd and Dre Kirkpatrick. Now, let me get to Tyler Boyd first, because obviously some people are probably confused about the Dre Kirkpatrick one. Tyler Boyd, I had him on fantasy last year, not the 2019 season, but the year before that. So the year before the last season. Anyway, I picked him up because I needed a receiver. AJ Green went down. I was like, okay, let me get this guy. Holy shit, he went off, and he just kept going and going and going. Last year, he had a very solid year as well for what he could do. I remember watching the Bengals game for the first time and with Tyler Boyd on my team, I'm like, all right, let's see what Tyler Boyd can do, like, in person. I've never watched him. I just had him on my team. I didn't even watch his game the first week. And he just balled out. He was crisp routes. He was making catches. Just exciting to watch. So I've kind of liked him ever since then. And he's been my favorite guy to watch on that offense. On the defense side, Drake Kirkpatrick's just done it for so long. He's had so many matchups. He's done so many different things, and yet he keeps his roster spot and he keeps his stature on the Bengals. He was drafted pretty high. That class that he was in didn't really pan out to be the best as it was seemed. But Drake Kirkpatrick definitely has been a staple for the Bengals for such a long time, and I've enjoyed watching him. When he's on the field, it is a joy to still see him out there. So it's just kind of the longevity that I've had watching him throughout my whole football life, basically, that makes me like him, because when I see a guy with dreads in the secondary, I know it's Drake Kirkpatrick for the Bengals. And so that's kind of where I see it. It's like I always, when I pop on a Bengals game, if they're on defense, I notice him right away. It's kind of one of those things. He's been in there for so long, so that's why I like him the most. Now, another questionable one, but let me get to it. For the Browns, I have Kareem Hunt and Denzel Ward. Now, Kareem Hunt, very excited that he is back in the league. Hopefully he's back to stay. Obviously, there was some stuff happening in the playoffs that was questionable. When he was playing, just from the football standpoint, he was, I think, one of the best, if not the best, running back in the NFL when he was on Kansas City. He just did the most amazing things I've ever seen. If you aren't sure about what Kareem Hunt was doing before all the shit happened, go back and watch some highlights from him on the Chiefs, and you will be simply amazed. Now that he's back on the field with the Browns, he's got more of a pass-catching role, and he did a very good job of it. I had him on my fantasy team this year, and he put up some good points. I was able to start him a couple weeks even. So that was good to see, and I'm excited that he's back there. I hope they give him a bigger role than they did last year. I think Stefanski can be able to do that as an offensive coordinator turned head coach. I think he's going to be able to do it. I do love Odell on there, but a lot of Odell falling out and talking bad about the Giants, that whole stuff last year kind of rubbed me the wrong way to make me lose a little bit of respect for him. He's doing well for me in the Giants franchise as well. But Kareem Hunt's going to be my favorite guy on their offense. I like Nick Chubb a lot. I like Hooper. Honestly, it's going to sound weird, but I like Conklin. I like Treader. I like Bitonio as well. But I think at the end of the day, a guy that I really get excited about watching is Kareem Hunt. So I'm glad he's back on the football field, not condoning anything that happens off the field. Just from a football standpoint, Kareem Hunt. Then, defense, Denzel Ward. I don't really have a surefire favorite player on this defense. It probably would have been Scobert. Asked me a year ago, it probably would have been Myles Garrett. But all that stuff happened. But people didn't expect him to get drafted where he did. He was probably going to be the first corner off the board. But people didn't expect him to get drafted at 4, which is kind of it was a little eye-opening, but he came out, he played well, and he's going to be a top corner in the league for a while. So hopefully he stays healthy, and we get to see a lot more of him this upcoming year. Now, going into the rival Dallas Cowboys, I actually have, these are some of my favorite players in the NFL, and they're on the biggest rival that the Giants have. Amari Cooper, man, I've loved Amari Cooper since he came out of Alabama. I loved him on the Raiders. Even when people gave him shit, I still was picking him in fantasy every year. I picked him last year in fantasy. Not last year. I picked him every year up until last year, because he started going high last year. But when he went to Dallas, he finally got the respect he deserves. He's one of the best receivers we have in the game. Easily the best release in the NFL. His route running is so nasty, but his release is just so quick and it's just insane. So I love to see what Amari Cooper does. Jalen Smith is going to be my favorite on the defensive side, because this is just kind of what Jalen Smith is doing. His story, getting injured at Notre Dame, still getting drafted. Seeing his draft video was really crazy. So for Jalen Smith to be back to where he is today, that is very good to see. Then we go over to the Denver Broncos. Courtland Sutton at the receiver standpoint for the Broncos. I loved him out of SMU. I thought he was a solid prospect. He kind of went later due to that receiver class kind of just dropped because the talent around was better. But he really had a great year last year, especially when Emmanuel Sanders left. He stepped up in big time. So that is very good to see. For the defensive side, I do have Von Miller for the Broncos. Another guy who just, as long as I've been watching football, he's been wrecking the league. I've obviously watched it a little bit longer than he's been in there, but Jesus Christ, look at his bicep in that picture, man. This dude is absolutely a beast on the edge. He is able to just get past. It doesn't matter who. You could have the best right tackle in the world. I mean, you watch when he versus the Cowboys, he still gets through. I mean, he is unstoppable. And to see him being able to mentor Bradley Chubb, that means Bradley Chubb is probably going to be unstoppable now that he's coming off of injury, which is going to be fun to see. So I'm really excited to see what Von Miller can do for Bradley Chubb and throughout his career. Another guy on the Giants franchise who has been an absolute beast for us. Then going on over to the Detroit Lions here, Matt Stafford, man. People forget what Matt Stafford can do, and it sucks. I mean, he's been injured, and it does suck, especially losing a whole year without Matt Stafford, basically. It did suck. But to see him now with good weapons around him, Hawkinson in his second year should be a lot better. Carry-on should be healthy. I almost put Bo Scarborough as the running back because I really like Bo Scarborough, but Matt Stafford can just sling the freaking ball, man. There's no reason that people should dislike him. A lot of people give him a lot of hate. I don't think he deserves it. I think he's a lot better than that. And then on the defensive side, there's nobody that I really love on the defensive side. So I'm gonna go Danny Shelton. I've liked Danny Shelton when he got drafted. I thought he was gonna be an absolute piece of a D tackle, and he really was his first year with Cleveland. He did very well. Since then, he's been kind of one of those players where he unfairly is getting passed around, and it's losing his value as a player. But it's not really his play that's doing it. It's really just where he's getting passed. I mean, he got moved. He's on the Patriots, and then now he's on the Lions. I mean, I hope that this is his home because he is a very good stuffer in the middle. I think he's going to take that Damian Harrison role and run away with it. I hope that he's found a home here in Detroit because this is a guy who I really do enjoy watching play, especially plugging up the middle. And when he was in Cleveland, I really liked watching him play. I wish that he could get on the field a lot more in New England, but hopefully he does that in Detroit. Now for the Green Bay Packers, if you haven't sensed the theme, I'm going to keep saying it. Fantasy football is one of my favorite pastimes. I have a radio show about it. We'll get to that when the season comes back around, but I have a radio show about it. I love fantasy football. It's one of my favorite things to do in the world. Aaron Jones, I traded Terry McLaurin after he started blowing up for Aaron Jones. Straight up, I need a running back. He needed a wide receiver. And then the next week, Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. I loved watching every game after that. I mean, I was enamored with how he was playing. He had such a good season last year. He was an absolute beast. I can't wait to see what he does this year. I hope they give him a bigger role. They like splitting him snaps. I mean, if he fumbles once, they take him out of the offense, which sucks. Aaron Jones is easily one of the best running backs, I think top 10 in the NFL, and I don't think that's wrong to even say that. But the reason that he has never blossomed into a top 5 or even better is because they don't give him the opportunity. They always cut into a snap count. They always take him out. I mean, he fumbled once in one of the games. I forgot what it was. I was watching it. He fumbled once. It was a Sunday night game, and then they took him out for the whole rest of the half. It's like, dude, he is your best running back. Don't let one mistake carry away from him. But it's how it is. He never gets the respect he deserves. The Packers never want to give him the full workload of a bell cow back. And I guess I get it because Jamal Williams has been doing very well for them as well. But Aaron Jones is an absolute beast. I love watching him. Devontae Adams is right behind him. I love Devontae Adams as well. But Aaron Jones really took over that role as my favorite player on the Packers last year. Then on the defensive side, Zadarius Smith, really cool to watch on the Ravens, but absolutely a beast to watch on the Packers. He was just everywhere. What did he do last year? He pulled up his jersey and says there's something on his shirt underneath. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's happy. He's having fun out there, and he just wrecks players. I mean, when the Giants have to verse him, it's scary. When I watch him anywhere else, it's scary. Him and Preston Smith are a very beautiful combo on the edges for the Packers, and they form that defense very well. Zadarius Smith's my favorite player on the defense. Going on over to Houston, Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, 2 best players they got. No, it's not David Johnson, but no, Deshaun Watson, I mean, what he did, it was the Bills game when he just completely broke the tackles and rolled out and made a nice pass. I mean, that's what Deshaun Watson does. I never understood why he wasn't getting the respect that he deserved when he was coming out of Clemson, being a national champion. I mean, he rarely made mistakes, in my opinion, in college, and yet people were seeing him as the 3rd or 4th best quarterback. People said he wasn't even a first-round grade to some of them, and I was like, there's no freaking way. He should be the first quarterback taken. Obviously, we know what happened. It was Trubisky and him and Mahomes, but Deshaun Watson is shown that he is one of the best in the NFL, and I don't understand why he wasn't seen as that coming out of college. It'll baffle me till the day I die, but Deshaun Watson, just for being an absolute beast, is my favorite on the offense. And then on the defense, J.J. Watt, just an all-around human being, great at what he does. One of the best guys we've seen come into this league and just absolutely run away with the role he's been given. He's been the king of Texas for so long because of what he has done for the community, what he has done for the people in general, and just for what he's done on the field. He's a good guy. He plays well. He's almost unstoppable when he's healthy. You got to love him. Then we go over to the Indianapolis Colts. Quentin Nelson is the coolest freaking dude on the planet. If you haven't watched interviews of this guy, go watch it. If you haven't seen clips of him blocking, go watch them. This dude will scream at the top of his lungs. before he hits a block. I mean, this guy is absolutely insane, and I love it about him. He's such a good blocker coming out of Notre Dame. I thought he was going to be great. I didn't think he was going to be that good, that fast, and I can't wait to see how his career goes. He's definitely going to be one of the greatest of all time if he keeps it up. Then Darius Leonard, a surprise guy. No one really saw this coming last year, but he won Rookie of the Year. He was one of the best players that we saw last year, and he kept it up a little bit this year. They kind of transitioned more into an interior linebacker, which I don't know how I feel about it yet. We'll see how it goes, especially next year with Rivers at the helm. Maybe they'll do a little bit better. But Darius Leonard is an absolute beast. I can't wait to see what he can do in the next year. Then we go over to the Jags, Gardner Minshew. Who doesn't love watching Minshew Mania? And on top of that, it's not even just a meme anymore. It's really, he's played like a very good quarterback. I mean, being as late of a pick as him, to come in there and do what he did as a rookie was very remarkable. To take the job from Foles when Foles came back was very cool to see. He's an accurate thrower. He's able to make plays. He's able to get around the pocket. He's fun to watch. I hope that he can keep this job in Jacksonville. I hope they don't draft anybody over him, because I really do want to see him succeed, especially in Jacksonville. I think he's right for Duval, and that's why I love him as my favorite player on the offense. Then we go over to the defense, Josh Allen. I wanted him last year for the Giants. When we picked Daniel Jones, I understood it. It sucked. Even Gettleman said it sucked passing up on that guy from Kentucky, Josh Allen, and I totally agree. I mean, Josh Allen, we knew was going to be a beast. How the hell he fell to where the Giants were picking was ridiculous. The Cleveland Farrell pick over him was ridiculous to me, and it's going to be ridiculous for days. Same thing with the Quinnen Williams pick. At the time, I liked the Quinnen Williams pick, but Josh Allen was just an absolute wrecker. I don't understand how he was passed up on for 5 picks, 6 picks even. But he's going to be an absolute beast. He had such an amazing rookie year, and I can't wait to see what he does for the rest of his career. To the Super Bowl champions, Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones. Not much you can even say about these guys, man. Tyreek Hill, if you don't like watching him, you don't like football. He's just an absolute beast. He's got great hands. He's got amazing speed. He's fun to watch. He's fun with his teammates. It's awesome to see. And then Chris Jones, he's just a wrecker in the middle. Plugs the hole very well, can get around blockers. When he came back in the playoffs, you saw the impact he had, and it was remarkable to see. Chris Jones is an absolute beast. Going on to the Las Vegas Raiders, 2 weapons that they're going to have coming into this next season is Tyrell Williams. I love Tyrell Williams in San Diego. I thought he was a very solid receiver. When he went to Oakland and Antonio Brown left, I was like, here we go, Tyrell Williams, time to shine. And he had, I think his first 5 weeks, he had a touchdown in every game. It was really cool to see. I hope he gets a little bit bigger of a role this next season, because they kind of were a little scared to throw it to him at some times, which I guess I get, but I think he's an absolute beast of a receiver. He's able to go win those 50-50 balls. He's got good hands. He's got solid route running. I don't think he's a top 20 receiver in the NFL, but he is definitely really fun to watch. I find myself looking towards him when I watch the Raiders. And on the defensive side, Max Crosby. If you watched Hard Knocks, you fell in love with this guy just through that. And then he went out and had one of the best rookie seasons from the rookie class last year on the defense. No one really expected him to do better than Cleveland Farrell, but he did. And he look at him, he's smiling. I mean, he's having fun with it. And that's what I love to see. When players are having fun while playing well, it's really cool to see. I love that about them. So Max Crosby, I can't wait to see what he can do from the future in Las Vegas. Now, the LA Chargers, we got Austin Eckler here, just got paid, well-deserved, had such a good year. Another guy who I picked in fantasy because I was like, hey, if Melvin Gordon's not going to be playing for a little while, I'm going to take Eckler in the 8th round, and he turned out to be a superstar. I loved what Austin Eckler could do, love what his game does. I hope he progresses a little bit more as a runner, because right now I think he's best as a pass catcher, but overall, he is really good at what he does, and I really hope that they can keep going in that direction. They paid him, so they believe in him. I like what they do. Then Casey Hayward, when he left the Packers, wasn't really seen as much. And then when he went to the Chargers, had the most interceptions in the season that year, was a Pro Bowler. He really stapled himself as being a top corner in the league. He's kind of gotten back down to that forgotten about category, but he's still one of the best corners in the league, if you ask me. He's really a lockdown guy. He's not going to let somebody catch over him too often. He's going to pick the ball off if the ball comes to him. He's got good hands. I really just like what he does all around play, and Casey Hayward is going to be my favorite on that defense. Going on over to the LA Rams, I have them getting Andrew Whitworth for my offensive player. I just really like what he's done. He's a very joyful guy. He really wants this team to succeed. He wants to help this team succeed as well, and that's really cool to see. Loved him on the Bengals, but when he came to the Rams, it just kind of seemed like he was a little bit hungrier. Everyone was a little bit happier he was around. He just kind of found a new home, and that was really cool to see. So Andrew Whitworth is my favorite on that offense. Then we're going over to the defense, Aaron Donald. I don't even have to say much about him. It's Aaron freaking Donald. Who doesn't like Aaron Donald? He's an absolute wrecker. Nobody can say anything bad about this guy. He's just he does anything you need him to do at any position on that defensive line. He's able to do it. That's why I like Aaron Donald. Going on to the Miami Dolphins, a lot of new additions that they added here, but I'm going to stick with some old guys here that have been there for a couple years now. Devontae Parker, I hated Adam Gase from the day he stopped playing Devontae Parker how he should. Devontae Parker, I knew was a top receiver if they would have given him the ball. And look what happens when Adam Gase leaves and Flores is like, let's get this guy the freaking ball. Holy shit, he balled out. He got a very big contract for him in this offseason. He's looking to be slated as that number one receiver for a long time in Miami. He deserves every cent of it because Adam Gase disrespected his career. We saw what happened with Tannehill. We saw what happened with Parker. Adam Gase is just a cancer in this league. I don't like Adam Gase at all, and that's just kind of how it is. But Devontae Parker is an absolute monster. I love seeing him do what he does on the field, and I can't wait to see what he does now that he's got that bag. Same with Xavier Howard, man. Just another corner I kind of fell in love with a couple years ago. He was one of the best at intercepting the ball. His pass deflections are great. When he's healthy, he is just an absolute beast. Now that he's going to be with Byron Jones, I mean, I can't wait to see what this Miami Dolphins defense does. I can't wait to watch the Dolphins next year no matter what. But Xavier Howard, I can't wait to see him back on the field. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, no Stephon Diggs anymore, so I had to transition to my second favorite player on that offense, and it is CJ Ham. Now, Vikings fans know how CJ Ham is an absolute beast. One of the best fullbacks in the NFL. He was a Pro Bowler last year. He just does everything right. He can catch the ball. He sets blocks very well. He's exciting to watch. The reason Dalvin Cook gets so many great yardage is because he's Dalvin Cook, but a lot of the times you see CJ Ham make a very big impact on those run plays, so you got to love CJ Ham. He's one of the best fullbacks. And then Harrison Smith, another guy who's just been doing it for such consistency for so long. I mean, this guy has been able to do it for so long. When you see those two freaking wrist or pads or wrist sleeves, I guess you'd call them, because they're not even arm sleeves. When you see those, especially even in Madden, you knew it wasn't Sendejo. You knew you were about to get cracked. I mean, this guy is a hard-hitting safety. He's able to play on the ball very well. Anywhere you throw on the defense, it seems like he gets to the ball somehow. So Harrison Smith just covers so much ground. Really love to watch him. Now, going on over to the New England Patriots, I have the receiver, N'Keal Harry, the rookie out of ASU last year. Forks up, baby. Forks up. But he was injured the first half of the year. They never really integrated him into the offense later in the year. I think it was just because they didn't want him to rush back from an injury, play too hard. But if you remember, when he got the ball, he freaking made plays with it. There was a touchdown that he made such an insane grab and an insane play with it. Got called back from a penalty. His first touchdown was a very beautiful touchdown. I mean, this guy has all the traits to be a top receiver in the NFL, and I can't wait to see what he does with this new Patriots offense is really kind of what it's going to be. They're going to have new jerseys and everything, so I can't wait to see what he can do. I think he is going to be a staple for the Patriots. He's going to be the new favorite on that offense for a lot of people coming after this season. And then Stephon Gilmore. What else can you say about this guy? Best corner in the NFL, hands down. Lockdown corner. Can't believe the Bills let him go, but the Bills are doing pretty well without him, and the Patriots are doing a lot better with him. So Stephon Gilmore is just an absolute monster. Can't wait to see what the Patriots do next year, and I think these two will be a very good reason on why maybe the AFC East isn't completely over for the Patriots. Going on over to the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees and Cameron Jordan, been there for so long, consistently doing it for so long. They are just absolute beasts at what they do. I'm talking about them both because in reality, it's kind of what it is. I mean, they're so good. Drew Brees playing at the top of his level at this age is insane. The throws he can make, the plays he makes, it's just really fun to watch. Cameron Jordan the same way. He gets around the edge so beautifully. He uses power, he uses quickness, and they just are able to set those edges. They're very good leaders for their respective offense and defense, and the younger guys are able to look up to somebody that they can learn from and do very well because of on that team. So these two guys are just absolutely beasts for the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a sad day when they both aren't there, which, you know, sadly is probably going to be in a couple years, but for right now, let's enjoy them while they're there. Now we're going over to my favorite team, the New York Giants. Hands down, my favorite team. Now, this was very hard to do, especially on the offensive side. The defensive side, it was a little bit easier, but the offensive side, it was hard because obviously Saquon Barkley's there. Darius Slayton's there. I love Darius Slayton. I'm a big Golden Tate guy as well. Evan Ingram's very fun to watch. Will Hernandez is a fun left guard to see play. I mean, he plays with so much passion. A lot of great guys there, but overall, I go with the rookie quarterback, Daniel Jones, because I put even the picture because of it. The freaking moment I will never forget, and it sounds so shitty because, like, we've won a Super Bowl in my lifetime. We've won 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime, and watching us win the Super Bowl was absolutely insane. I can't even describe the feeling of just being a fan of it. But now that I'm so enamored with the NFL and how deep I am with it, the Giants have lost for so long. They've had such bad quarterback play for a while with Eli just kind of sitting in the pocket, getting hit. So to see Daniel Jones come into the Buccaneers game as a starter, I mean, go down, his first NFL touchdown, he does a read option, reads it well, beats that guy to the outside, touchdown. The touchdown to Evan Ingram, freaking Evan Ingram reached the top speed of like 26 miles an hour. The touchdown throw to Sterling Shepard, which was an insane throw and catch, and then down by freaking whatever how many points it was, 4 points, and in the fourth quarter to be able to drive down was already cool. Fourth down with no options out there, he takes the ball up the middle. I was up screaming at the top of my lungs, cheering, holy shit, oh my god, he did it. I loved the Daniel Jones pick when it happened. I wanted Josh Allen, but I understood why we got Daniel Jones. I was excited because I watched his tape. I realized, wow, a lot of these mistakes that people are knocking him for weren't really him. A lot of these were these crappy receivers that no one knows were dropping easy touchdowns, or they were batting the ball up for quick interceptions. I mean, it really was. And to see him go into the NFL, and even the preseason, he had such a great preseason, but for him to come into his first start and do what he did, and most importantly, thank God that Matt Gay missed the field goal for the Buccaneers, and thank God Bruce Arians moved him 5 yards back for whatever reason. But Daniel Jones, just from that right there, I was like, wow, I really do love what this guy is going to bring for our team. It was so refreshing to see. That's just one of my favorite moments I've ever had as a Giants fan, even as stupid as it sounds. But to see that's like, okay, the torch is finally passed. We got a guy. And he played pretty well for the rest of the season. A lot of injuries happened on the team, so a lot of mistakes started happening, but hey, he's going to bounce back sophomore year. I can't wait to see what he does. And Jabril Peppers. When we got Jabril Peppers in the trade for Odell Beckham, I was like, that's a very good piece to come back. We need a safety very bad. Landon Collins is gone. He came in, he took number 21, which was Landon Collins' number. I was like, okay, let's see what he does. And he was wrecking the field those first few weeks. I mean, he was able to do pretty good in coverage. I mean, there was some shitty pass interference calls against on the Buccaneers game as well against Jabril Peppers, which literally the announcer was like, okay, well, this is that new pass interference rule. Is it pass interference? Technically, yes. Was it the best play you could make? Obviously. So Jabril Peppers, I can't wait for him to be back. He was injured for the last half of the season, but for him to come in, he hits hard. He plays linebacker. He plays safety. He was a utility at Michigan, so for him to be there is very good. I can't wait to see what he does now with a little bit better of a defense. Some other guys I could pick on the defense, I really like Dexter Lawrence. Leonard Williams, I don't think he's my favorite player yet, but I do like him a lot. But Julian Love I like a lot too, but Joe Peppers was definitely the easy pick for me. Now going on over to the New York Jets. Le'Veon Bell, man. I love Le'Veon Bell. He was such a beast on the Steelers. I picked him with my first pick of the fantasy draft this year. Didn't really pan out as good as I wish, but I think that's, once again, product of Adam Gase. Doesn't really know how to coach, unfortunately. Head coach, at least. I think he could be a better coordinator than a coach. But I hope that he's able to bounce back and fight what Gase does and do what he's known to do. Hopefully they get a better offensive line as well to help him. But Le'Veon Bell is just such a fun running back to watch. His patience is one of the coolest things to see. For him to sit back there for 3 seconds and be like, dude, run the ball, and then he ends up breaking it for 80 yards. That's just what Le'Veon Bell does. He's one of the best in the NFL. And then C.J. Mosley, he's one of the best leaders in the NFL. Him coming over from the Ravens last year, I was excited for him and Anthony Barr to be on the team together. Unfortunately, Anthony Barr backed out, which sucked to see. But hopefully Mosley's healthy as well, because, I mean, that guy is just absolutely a fun guy to watch on the defensive side. He does a lot for any defense, and he's such a good leader. I think that he's going to do very well for this Jets team, and I'd like to see what they do next year. Going over to the Eagles, Jason Kelce's my favorite on that Eagles offense. Another rival for the Giants, but this is kind of my favorite here. Kelce's just done it for such a long time. He's done it cleanly. He's one of the best centers, if not the best center in the NFL for years and years and years. Obviously, the brother of Travis Kelce. Damn, would I love to have those genes, huh? But definitely just one of the beasts in the middle. They get a lot of, even with subpar running backs for a long time, Kelce's just been able to plug the whole middle, take 3 guys on if he needs to, and get some yardage. So Kelce's definitely fun to watch on their side. And then Fletcher Cox, another guy who's just been doing it for such a long time, so consistently, did very well. I was happy to see him get a Super Bowl those couple years back, just because of he deserves it. I mean, he's been such a beast. There's a clip that came out where he was ready to shoot somebody that came into his house. I mean, it was crazy stuff, but Fletcher Cox is definitely really fun to watch. Then we got over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I picked this picture for a specific reason. Marquise Pouncey, man. There's a lot of guys I do like on the Steelers. One of my best friends is a Steelers fan, which is really cool to see how they've grown since then, because I've been following them ever since I became friends with him. But Marquise Pouncey, man, he's just what he did for that Myles Garrett fight really solidified me as like, man, this guy really cares about his teammates. And it was a weird showing of it, but I mean, look at him right there. He's ready to just sock Garrett in the mouth, and he has a helmet on. He has a helmet. He's ready to punch a face mask. That's how much he's like, you don't touch my quarterback. I don't care what my quarterback is. I don't even know if he likes Mason Rudolph. He might not, but for him to do what he did, and show and take that suspension and everything. Even when the CBA came out and he was saying, like, look, if young guys need to get paid, you talk to me, I'll give you money. I don't even care. Like, I want to look out for my teammates, but I want us to all look out for each other for the CBA. Obviously, it didn't go the way he wanted, but Marquise Pouncey's just a man of the people, so I really like what he does. And Minka Fitzpatrick, when he went there from Dolphins, I was like, man, Dolphins just lost a really good player. Obviously, he didn't want to be in Miami, so it had to be done, but he had an excellent season for the Steelers. Can't wait to see what he does next year for them with Big Ben back. I think the Steelers team is going to go and surprise a lot of people next year. Going on over to San Francisco, Kyle Juszczyk, when he stiff-armed, I think it might be Minka Fitzpatrick actually, now I'm thinking about it. But whoever, when he stiff-armed this guy, oh my God, Juszczyk is just so much fun to watch. Best fullback in the NFL, by far, one of the best fullbacks of all time. And fullbacks don't really get respect. I threw 2 on here already. They deserve respect, and that's because, I mean, this guy is an absolute beast. He blocks very well, but he's able to catch out of the backfield. He's able to go run routes. He's able to truck people over, stiff arm. I mean, he does it all. And then Richard Sherman. Sherman, what can you say about the guy? I mean, just he knows he's one of the best in the league, and he has said that for years and years, and he's constantly proved it. Why would we go against it if he constantly proves it? So Richard Sherman, easily my favorite on that defense. Then we got over to the Seattle Seahawks. Chris Carson is one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. Top 10 running back for sure. He just needs to learn how to not fumble the freaking ball, man. A lot of times he gets benched. One, because Rashad Penny needs his snaps because they drafted him with the first round pick a year back. But Chris Carson, man, I really like what he brings to the table. I think if he did not fumble, he would be a top 5 running back. But those fumbles hold him back. He's kind of in that 10-9 range, in my opinion. But what he does when he actually holds onto the ball, he does some exciting things. He's got very good athleticism, able to hurdle over people, stiff arm, truck through him. He's got decent speed. So definitely one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. Then we go over to the defense. Bobby Wagner, another guy. How can you not like this guy? He's been there for so long. He's won so many rings for them. He's made so many plays for this team. He's still such a good leader on that defense. I think he's like only 30 years old too, so he's got a lot of years left in the tank. This is a guy who we're going to see for a long time completely wreck other teams' offenses. Going over to Tampa Bay, I'm sorry I had to do it. Tom Brady, man, just the GOAT. It's hard watching him as a Giants fan because the Patriots and them have an unwritten rivalry, but Brady, I mean, he's just done it for so long. How can you hate the guy when he just consistently wins? He's cocky when he needs to be because, hey, he's earned it. He's earned it. One of the best we've ever seen in the NFL, if not the best. So Tom Brady is going to have a fun time in Tampa Bay with some weapons. And then Shaq Barrett, man. Shaq Barrett's first few weeks were insane. When he had 8 sacks by week 4, I mean, it was just absolutely insane what he was doing. He slowed down a little bit, but I'm glad that he's back with Tampa Bay. I think he's going to make a big impact for them. I hope they pay him a good amount of money and he's able to stay for long term. But overall, Shaq Barrett is just he became one of the best edge rushers in the league last year, and I hope that can continue as well. Then we got over to the Tennessee Titans, the second last team here. The video is almost over. It's been a very long video. I hope you guys have stuck with it. But Tennessee Titans, Taylor Lewan, dude, oh my God, watch any top 100 video, and you'll see Taylor Lewan in there just joking around, having a good time. He's a funny dude. He plays very well as well at the Titans position. When he gets a penalty, if you watch him like mic'd up, he'll literally be like, oh my God, like I'm messing up. Like he's able to, he blames himself for things. He's a leader on that defense. He will talk shit to anyone. I mean, look at what he was doing to Josh Norman when he went up there and he pointed right at him. Oh, my God, dude. How do you not love the guy when he's doing that? It's so easy to laugh at this guy. Love Taylor Lewan. And then Adoree Jackson, another guy where he's just been a solid corner for such a long time. Not such a long time. Obviously, he hasn't been in the league that long. But ever since he's stepped foot in Tennessee, he's just been very fun to watch. I don't know. It's just another thing where it's like when I see a Tennessee Titans game and they're on defense, I'm gravitating towards Adoree Jackson, seeing what he's doing on that defensive side. A lot more than what I see from other players. So Adoree Jackson is definitely going to be my pick for the defense. Then with the very last team in the NFL, the Washington Redskins, I have the jersey on. He's one of the last guys I'm going to be talking about. I put it on because of this reason. Adrian Peterson, man. Who doesn't like AP, man? One of the best running backs we've ever seen do it. Injuries have really plagued his career, and I wish it didn't because we got wasted from a few years of greatness. But even to this day, he's still winning the starting job in Washington over a bunch of younger guys that have a lot more potential because he's just that good. He doesn't have what he used to have. He's not as fast, but he still goes out there and consistently plays well. He doesn't want to retire, and I'm glad that he doesn't. Anytime I can watch Adrian Peterson, I'm glad to watch him. I get to see him twice a year winning versus my Giants, so that's very good to see. And then on the defensive side, Montez Sweat, they traded back into the first round to get him last year, and I love that they did that. I thought he was a first-round pick. I thought he was a great player out of Mississippi State. and for him to go in there and have a great rookie season, I thought nothing less of it. Montez Sweat should be a top edge rusher within a few years, especially if they add Chase Young this upcoming season. I mean, they're going to be a crazy tandem. This defensive line is going to be insanely good. The rest of the team, not so much, but definitely very good for them. But that is going to be it for the video. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite team is and your favorite players on offense and defense from that team. If you want to do this as well, I'll read through every single comment on this video. I read through all my comments no matter what, but I want to see everybody's top players in each team. You can do one player, you can do an offense and defense, you can do 5 for a team. I don't care, but if you want to spend the time, put all 32 teams down. Let me know what your favorite players are from each team. I don't know why I just smacked my whole computer desk there, but let me know what your favorite guys are. I want to talk about it. Let's debate. Let's have fun with it. Let's give me some reasoning. Let's hear it all. Let's discuss in the comment section below. But if you did like the video, please hit that like button. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you are new. If you didn't like the video, please refresh it, try it again, and see what you like the second time. And without further ado, that's gonna be for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.